There was a time when a single blue and yellow sign meant movie night had officially begun. Friday evenings, fluorescent lights, the smell of plastic cases and carpet cleaner, kids running to the new releases while parents arguing over late fees they swear weren't their fault. Blockbuster wasn't just a store, it was a ritual, and then it was completely gone. So, what happened to Blockbuster? How did the biggest name in home entertainment with over 9,000 stores vanish virtually overnight? This isn't just a story about VHS tapes and DVDs, it's a story about timing, arrogance, missed warnings, and one decision that changed everything. Let's go back to the very beginning. In the early 80s, renting movies was messy. Most video rental stores were small, independently owned, and poorly organised, inconsistent in pricing and availability. You'd walk in and hope the film you wanted was there. There was no standard system, no nationwide brand, no real customer experience. The chaos created an opportunity, and one man spotted it. In 1985, David Cook, a software services entrepreneur, opened the first Blockbuster video store in Dallas, Texas. It wasn't just another rental shop. Cook applied database software, the same systems used in oil and gas, to track the inventory, the customer rentals, what titles were popular, and demand patterns. Blockbuster stores by their very nature were bigger, brighter and cleaner, and better stocked than any competitors. Instead of guessing, Blockbuster knew exactly what the customer wanted. The concept exploded. Within 1 year, Blockbuster had 15 stores, then 100, then 100 more. But the real turning point came when a new owner stepped in. In 1987, Blockbuster was bought by Wayne Huizenga, a corporate powerhouse known for aggressively scaling businesses. Huizenga didn't just grow Blockbuster, he industrialized it. By the early 90s, stores were open virtually daily. Blockbuster dominated suburban America. Independent video stores had been crushed. Blockbuster became the default place to rent movies. And with this dominance came a confidence. By the mid-90s, Blockbuster was untouchable. At its peak, it had over 9,000 stores worldwide, tens of thousands of employees, millions of customers every single week, partnerships with Hollywood studios, and early access release rental deals. Friday night at Blockbuster became a cultural consistent. Behind the scenes, there was a growing problem. Blockbuster made huge money from late fees, so much money in fact that late fees accounted for hundreds of millions in annual revenue, and customers absolutely hated them. But Blockbuster ignored the complaints. The business model relied on friction. You forgot to return a movie, there was profit there, and this mattered more than anybody realised. In 1997, a small startup launch called Netflix. It didn't have any stores, it didn't charge any late fees, and it mailed its DVDs directly to customers. Blockbuster laughed at first. In 2000, Netflix founders approached Blockbuster with an offer. Netflix would handle online rentals. Blockbuster would run the brand and the stores. The price, $50 million. Blockbuster said no. Why would they partner with a tiny DVD by mail rental company when they owned the world? The decision would become one of the most infamous mistakes in business history. As Netflix grew, Blockbuster finally reacted. They launched Blockbuster Online, DVD by mail, no late fees campaign, but it was all confused, removing late fees, angering shareholders, reducing profits, confusing customers. They didn't fully commit to the change. Worse was still to come. Blockbuster was now owned by Viacom, a massive media corporation more focused on quarterly results than long-term survival. Meanwhile, Netflix was burning money to grow. Blockbuster was trying to protect its existing empire. One was playing the future, the other was defending its past. And then came broadband internet. Streaming wasn't instant, it wasn't perfect, but it was inevitable, and Netflix pivoted again. Blockbuster, once again, hesitated. Why? Because streaming would kill physical rentals, it would destroy the store traffic, it would make the thousands of store locations that they owned worthless. Blockbuster wasn't just slow to react, it was trapped. They couldn't abandon stores without collapsing their own business. By the late 2000s, store traffic had plummeted, debt had mounted, competition had exploded. Netflix had surged, red box kiosks undercut pricing, and studios changed distribution models. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. Store after store after store closed. Employees lost their jobs, and entire towns watched their Blockbuster just disappear. By 2014, virtually all of the stores had gone. Today, just one Blockbuster store remains. In Bend, Oregon, it survives as a tourist attraction, a nostalgic shrine to the past, a reminder of what once was. Netflix even made a documentary about it. The irony is completely impossible to miss. Blockbuster didn't fail just because of Netflix. It failed because it protected its late fees instead of its customers. It feared cannibalizing its own business. It ignored the signals, and it confused dominance with invincibility. Blockbuster didn't miss the future. They saw it coming and opted to not change. Blockbuster didn't vanish overnight. It faded slowly, predictably, and painfully. A company that once dominated entertainment became a warning taught in business schools. Because sometimes the biggest threat isn't competition. It's refusing to let go of what made you successful. And that is what happened to Blockbuster.